Okay, and we're rolling. We're thinking more of a podcast type style. I kind of want to go however long it is, uncut, or at least as uncut as possible. Today's topic is the state of New York sports. It's been a while. That's why I'm really encapsulating an entire like city, New York City specifically, and their sports teams. I'm covering Giants, I'm covering Jets, I'm covering Knicks, I'm covering Nets, I'm covering Yankees, and I'm covering Mets. Sorry, hockey. I just can't confidently speak to you about hockey, and you respect, and I want you to respect my opinion, so I'm not gonna have a discourse about hockey. If we get locked in the barber shop and you want to talk hockey, indulge me, but not here, not around here. So I'm gonna move into probably in reverse order that I just said because it's more current, and then we'll go into basketball and how I feel about these teams. Quick disclaimer, I haven't covered football in a couple months because I love being current. I love watching darts and I love watching the baseball season and how the Knicks just never lost. So it's been rusty. Bear with me. It's gonna be fun. Let's just move straight into it. I'm gonna cover the Yankees first. The Yankees just got off of getting swept by the Red Sox, and in a real thriller on NBC, the Yankees do this really cool thing of being very productive during stretches like 10 game stretches of times, but hitting slumps right as they have a window of nationally televised games and make everyone believe that they're about to hit the quote June swoon. The Yankees are 12-12 in June, and this is all without Aaron Judge. If you said we're going to be 12-12 in June before the year started, people would say I'd take that because the June swoon was going to happen. Now you say 12-12 without Judge, without Stanton, without Fried, without Trent Grisham. This team, we're missing 4 out of our 9 opening day starters. It's it's not an excuse. We do have to perform. That Red Sox series is close to unacceptable. We probably need to come away with one of those 3 games. That's how you win a division race. Even when you're cold, you can still steal games here and there. But what the Yankees are giving you right now, they're 1 game back in the division. I am not worried. I'm worried about Stanton coming back because right now it's looking like out of those Stanton, Judge, and Fried, it looks like Fried's gonna come back first. He's throwing the live hitters tomorrow. So is Clark Schmidt. I don't even for Yankees fans who want to mention Clark Schmidt in your head, I wouldn't think about him. I don't know. Things always work itself out, but I Clark Schmidt is coming off of a Tommy John surgery and he's trying to recover and trying to get back. Him and Fried are actually timed the exact same. So if you want to, you can view it as free as Colin Rodon the same way. A right-handed pitcher that is coming off of Tommy John and hasn't pitched in a year, and a lefty that's really just trying to get slow played back into the rotation, and it's just a normal rehab off an arm injury. Um, I I don't like that we were no hit into the 4th inning in 4 straight games. Like the one thing about the Yankees with Judge is like their first inning prop was my favorite prop to to put a straight on because their top of the order is just like so likely to get a hit every time I score a game. It feels like the first inning, Jazz Chisholm's always up to bat. He led off this inning, and we'll get to Jazz Chisholm later. They have their obvious problems. I think you can actually go back into Jazz Chisholm. Um, People complain about their middle infield. I just think they have a shortstop problem. I think in the Yankees' perfect world, their perfect world involves Volpe at shortstop, and in the fans' perfect world, obviously the fans don't play, but Caballero is a better shortstop than Volpe, but Caballero can play everywhere else. And Volpe's only other secondary position is second base, which also tends me and leads me to believe that Jazz Chisholm is not gonna come back this year. The Yankees, Jazz Chisholm is kind of having Jazz Chisholm moments. You have the lollipop incident, which is nothing. I can explain to you it is nothing. There is nothing like the lollipop incident. He had a lollipop out at second base. Aaron Boone publicly said, "I hate that. I don't like it," and was very stern and upfront about that, which he never is. That's what I mean. Pissed me off about what Boone said, but I'm not the manager. I don't think it's safe, obviously, having a lollipop out, but people chew gum and tobacco and whatever on the field. So, like, the concept of the lollipop, he says he normally cuts off the stem and just chews the lollipop. That feels rather normal. And if he did that, would we have been okay with it? Obviously. He hits a homer in the next game. He gets ejected on a check swing in a game where that could have mattered. Like the way Sonny Gray was pitching, there's a world where Volpe is the last out, or the tying run is on base with a Volpe at bat. And knowing the Yankees, which we just saw, the Yankees will find every way, every roster maneuver to not pinch hit for Anthony Volpe. Because pinch hitting for Anthony Volpe is saying you're not good enough, and they can't do that to him. They kind of did it to Wells, but Austin Wells is a story for right now. If y'all don't know, I'm segueing great. I think Austin Wells is not hitting at all. He's got a 513 OPS, I think, at the time of this recording. He has the worst OPS from any Yankee in the last 50 years with a minimum of 175 plate appearances. That's not good. When I look at us, well, it's like we all know it's not good. We need alternatives. Right now, we don't have an alternative, and I just think, when is the Ben Rice catching situation ever gonna happen? Because I think, if you close your eyes, Yankees fans, and try to view this team as a World Series team, who do you see in the lineup? I see Judge, obviously, in right field. I see Stanton hitting bombs. I see Bellinger patrolling left. I probably see Grisham, Jones, or Dominguez. Like, one of them is probably out there. I see maybe Ryan McMahon or Ahmed Rosario. That's cool. I don't see a world where Volpe and Wells are both in that lineup, giving us quality at bats and quality defense in a World Series team. I just don't think we can do it. Um, with Volpe, it's his arm. Um, this Yankees team induces some of the most ground ball heavy pitchers. We have Tim Hill. We have our starters induce a bunch of ground balls. Cam Schlittler, Max Fried. They can rack up strikeouts, but they're trying to get easy outs throughout the season and just get deeper and deeper into games. That's their goal. Ground ball pitchers. Camilo Doval, kind of a ground ball pitcher with that sinker. I mean, he needs to be, at least. But when you have a defense that your shortstop is unable to turn double plays, which he just turned one yesterday with Caballero at second, it's it's a backbreaker to your pitcher. Your pitcher just needs to, like, if your pitcher gets the ground ball that he needs, that needs to be two. He needs to be able to walk to the dugout, and it doesn't really happen. So that's the bigger problems. Wells just, I mean, you heard the Ryan Jeffers news, you hear the Adley Rutschman news, you hear the Hunter Goodman news. You're going to hear every catcher's name get brought up. I think Wells could be a the catcher on our team, on a World Series team. However, I think he'd just be in breaks for Ben Rice. I think this all goes back to, how comfortable are we for catching Ben Rice? When Stanton and Judge and Grisham comes back, you have the opportunity to roll out in reverse order, and left to right, Bellinger, Grisham, and Judge. And then in the infield, McMahon or Rosario, based on the pitcher and the opposing pitcher. Um, Caballero, Jazz, Goldie, and Ben Rice catching with Giancarlo DHing. That lineup is probably the scariest lineup a pitcher has seen since '08 for the Yankees. I think that lineup has potential to do just absolutely insane things, but it all revolves around Ben Rice being able to catch, maybe just against lefties. Against righties, Austin Wells, as a dead bat, defensive minded catcher, is okay, because Aaron Boone also treats him like that, and you have the chess pieces to move to pinch hit for Wells. And then if, like, Rice is playing first base, you can catch him on in a playoff stretch. That can happen. So how comfortable are we catching Ben Rice? Are we just trying to save his legs through the course of the season until the big dogs get back? Um, and how what is our bullpen eventually going to look like. I don't want to talk about bullpen. Everyone is so hyped up about Carlos DeGraye. I am excited about it too. Like, what could we see 103 coming out the bullpen with a nasty breaking ball? But what if he's just Camilo Doval? And I don't want to bring that into my head, because what if he just can't hit his spots and people shell it? Like, it it can happen. I believe in the Yankees pitching staff, and it's going to work out. This team that is going to get fielded post trade deadline is going to be very entertaining. How Cashman deals with it, and Cashman I trust. With that being said, if Cashman I trust, let's move over to GM I don't trust. The New York Mets are, I would say, screwed. I would say another word if we're in a barbershop. I personally don't. Carlos Mendoza got fired a couple days ago, and after, if you ask any Mets fan in the city or anywhere, you would say that it should have happened 2 months ago. The Phillies were 9-19 along with the Mets, and they fired Rob Thompson for doing less, and he did more in his tenure with that team, and they got nothing, and they're right now 3 games behind the Atlanta Braves for the NL East, I think. And the Mets are gonna be selling at the deadline. Me personally, I don't like David Stearns. I think he just sounds like, when he talks, he sounds like, I know more than you, so why are you asking me why I'm doing something? He believes he knows more than you. He believes he's smarter than you. And that's okay when you pull an Andrew Freeman and get the right decision, and pull the deferred money on Shohei, or trade for Mookie Betts, or trade for Freddie Freeman. Like, those are cool. But that doesn't work when Freddie Peralta can't make it through 6 innings, and you're still paying Frankie Montas, and you just traded David Peterson to the Cubs, and in his first start, he went 5.2, the most he's gone since last August. That can't happen. Like, I just think, I believe and I trust the smart people. I say I trust the smart people, but the smart people are looking really, really stupid right now. And it makes me call the question, when you come at us for not knowing the game, but you make decisions like that with a war chest of money. You've got all the money in the world to build a roster. You did it with nothing in Milwaukee. So not everyone can have a rich owner, you know? I'm also say what part of this is Soto's fault. I think the Yankees were desperately wanted Juan Soto back, and Yankee fans wanted Juan Soto back. But when I heard the inklings of the plan, it's gonna sound like hindsight. I didn't. I truly believed it. When I heard the inklings of the new plan, and the other plan was getting Max Fried, getting Cody Bellinger, becoming a better defensive team, a better base running team, it just felt right because we were getting rid of Gleyber Torres. And I, like, how much of Juan Soto's intangibles are responsible for the Mets' demise and led to the Yankees being, objectively, subjectively, if you ask anyone in baseball, probably the best team in the American League right now, even if the Rays are a game ahead. I just think, when you sign a 60 million, when you sign for 700 million, there has to be some intangible things you add to the team. Like, there is, you pass a certain point where, like everyone, like, you're making max money, you have to do more than just the production. I don't know, your team can't fall apart on your watch. It's awkward. I think they're going to trade Freddie Peralta to a team that might need starting pitching. Shout out Atlanta, maybe. But yeah, the Mets are in a rough spot. OG Anunoby threw out the first pitch. That was that was that was my favorite. I went to a Mets game with my roommate. It was fun. They lost, I think, 7-0 against the Cardinals. Shout out to the Cardinals. There for another day. While we're on OG Anunoby, I'll move on to the Knicks, cause, man, oh man, you guys are lucky I didn't have a mic and camera. Um, I don't know. I just feel like I don't know how to even start about the Knicks. I was right the entire time about the Knicks. Everything I said about this team was right. If we get the Spurs, I like the matchup. They're dominant. They haven't lost. Even if they come down to earth, that's still beating a team in six when you're the most dominant 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 game stretch in playoff history. It's and now that they've won the championship, I can say, if not for you hear the reports coming out about what transpired in game 3. I'm not getting into should Donald Trump or should he have not come to the game. He's a fan, and if he does everything he wants to come to the game, so be it. He's the president. I'm just saying what it affected of the team. Landry Shamet said he had to sleep in a hotel at a home game. It ruins his home game routine. Jordan Woods couldn't bring in the lucky bag. Like, that lucky bag is getting trademarked. So, did that have any effect on the Knicks and make it harder for the Knicks to get prepared for a home game when the road team just kind of does road team stuff? Like, it doesn't matter if the road, like, you're coming in on the road. If stuff looks weird, stuff is going to look weird. You're on the road. Um, I think the one game they lost had that random things impacted, and then they came back from down 29. I was at a bar in New York when that happened. There hasn't been a more electric moment. I think it's to the level of a home country winning a World Cup, the way the New York streets just raid. And see, if you want to see some videos, check my Twitter. It's nuts the way that city just crowds around that team and everyone's a Knicks fan. I'll get more into the Knicks later. I think I'll have my victory lap, or I've already had my victory lap. I don't feel the need to gloat. What I do need to talk about is how everyone's a Knicks fan in this city. And the Brooklyn Nets are still in Brooklyn. First order of business, Nets. My letter to the Brooklyn Nets. This was supposed to be a 20-minute video to the Brooklyn Nets, but why would I do that? I don't want to spend 20 minutes of hate. I get 5 maybe, and I can move on with my life. The Brooklyn Nets are confusing. I'm not saying that Michael Brown is not better than Darius Acuff. However, you as a Brooklyn Nets association need to put people in seats. You better be certain that Michael Brown is better than Darius Acuff, because Darius Acuff and Michael Brown do not attract the same amount of people. Darius Acuff would put people in seats, would get people putting on the black and white uniform for Brooklyn. And right now, you need to be a respectable team to put people in seats. And they're trying the New York Knicks way. You get Julius Randle on a salary dump. You keep Michael Porter Jr. They're doing that because they don't own their picks, but they have all this young talent. They get Michael Brown, and hopefully they field a play-in team. That's their hope. If the Nets make the play-in, they're a success. It's a successful season. They don't own their pick, not outright, I'm pretty sure. So it's gonna be pretty. You're gonna see some try out of them. They're not gonna give up. And you know what the Nets were lacking most of the time? They lacked about 25 points and 8 rebounds. They just lacked points. Nick Claxton couldn't get you the 25 extra points that you needed. And then if Michael Porter Jr. wasn't playing, it was very hard for the Brooklyn Nets to score 100 points without Michael Porter Jr. chucking up contested threes. It's going to be a contested shot fest. I think Jordi Fernandez, their coach, he's very good. He's no slouch of a coach. He got extensions. I don't know if Side note, I don't know if those extensions are because he's a good coach or because they told him to tank and it's like, hey, we told you to tank, so you deserve it to get an extension because we told you to tank and you did it. Um, I don't know which one it is, but we'll follow the money on that. They're on the Brooklyn Nets are just on pace for a terrible net rating kind of thing going on. Their net rating was, I think, on par with the Wizards last year. It's it was just bad, and I think you just need to put people in seats. It's not like the Nets are in New Jersey, like they'd say like New York and they're actually in New Jersey. They're actually in Brooklyn. Like the NBA draft is held at Barclays. They need to put people in seats at Barclays. There's an outside chance that the Brooklyn Nets will not have more people in seats in the month of October than they did for the NBA draft. And that is terrible. Like, you just have to get people excited for something. And A Cup going to the Kings, maybe you can get him later when the Kings eventually flame out and trade him. But that I you better be certain that Michael Brown is better because right now you're trying to be a sufficient team. And if they're even, I don't care about height in wingspan when you need a lead guard. I need a lead guard, and I think Darius Acuff's a better lead guard. I think Michael Brown is probably better at everything else, but I need a guy with the ball in their hands. Maybe I'm just feeling a little Jalen Brunson centric, but I can't I can't with the Brooklyn Nets. They really do annoy me, and I think they should go back to New Jersey. That's their first order of business. You can't compete in New York. To move on with the competition, the Giants. The Giants are everyone's sleeper team. They're everyone's team to double their win total. They're everyone's team to make the playoffs after being last in their division. Um, I understand it. I fully understand it. They have a easier schedule. I think we're in for a year, but watch out for Jackson Dart under a new offensive coordinator. I think Brian Dable made Jackson Dart so effective with his legs because his job was on the line and just started letting him rip it, and he knew. And now you don't have a lame duck coach, so Jackson's a quarterback, but it's just gonna look different maybe. Also, what am I gonna see out of Malik Neighbors? Like he shouldn't play week one. If I see a report that Malik Neighbors play is going to play week one in 2 months, not now. I don't believe those reports. Like in a month and a half, I would just feel not good, even on a snap count. I just don't think I think he should start the year on the PUP and be ready week five, like ready to go full tilt week five. I think that matters more with this team. And Abdul Carter, I mean, it's your young core, it's your young foundation. Abdul Carter, it's the year you get paid. This is the year you get yourself paid. And I think we're going to see a big year out of him because he knows that. I mean, every contract year athlete, I it's a real thing. Like it's a real thing. It's a real life that somebody goes up to you and says, "Hey, you perform this quarter, your contract will go from $5 million or $15 million to $27 million and $100 million man." I, I I think that's enough motivation for somebody. I think if your contract could have got doubled by your performance in the next 8 months, you'd probably lock in. You'd show up early. So I expect a big year from Abdul Carter. It's probably the year he gets that 5th year option, and then the contract extension docs start. So yeah, and then the quick move over to the Jets. Will Garrett Wilson get traded? Will Geno Smith play football? For this team, I don't want to draft until the Geno Smith ruling comes out because I don't want to get, blindsided by whatever's going to happen with Geno Smith. Then what's a successful season for the Jets? Like selling at the deadline, winning 4 games. We all forgot Aaron Glenn's still there. Like it's the greatest thing for Aaron Glenn right now is the Knicks are winning and the Mets suck and the Yankees are just got swept because everyone forgot that Aaron Glenn is right now a lame duck coach. So a coach coaching for their life, a defensive coordinator as a head coach calling the defensive plays. You could see something, could be disappointed. I really just think about these teams and say, how do they impact my fantasy? Geno Smith throwing to Garrett Wilson does make me want to draft Garrett Wilson because Geno Smith is a competent thrower of the football. And their offensive line was healthy last year. Knowing them behind Geno, week one, someone's going down, but knock on wood for Gino. Hashtag blame Gino. That's all I got. I wanted to go in one breath. I wanted to go in one run. These are practice. It's not really practice, but one day you'll hear me on the radio. I promise you. Um, yeah, that's the state of the New York sports. If you saw me looking down, it's my note sheet because always come prepared. The state of New York sports, New York's in a great place. It's in a great place. I see some similarities with the Yankees and the Knicks. I really do. A weak conference, an easier path, a way to get there, maybe a disappointing regular season, but they could get there. They might break through. If not, we're probably seeing the end of Aaron Boone. I think this is the year that it's the Boone wall. I'm a Boone believer. Like he can't be terrible at his job and his team always be good. Like so I hope y'all take care and go New York, go New York, go.